All right, so next we're going to crochet her skirt, and to crochet the skirt you're going to need to start with your dark gray yarn. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot by wrapping the yarn around our finger and pulling the tail up through the center. And now we're going to chain 30. So yarn over, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And now we're going to slip stitch in the first chain to join our chains together and make a ring. But when you're doing this, you need to make sure that your chains don't twist or anything. So you want them to be straight. And just stick your hook through and double check one more time just to make sure that they're not twisting at all. Okay, that looks good. And slip stitch. Okay. So now we're going to do an increase round, and we're going to increase from 30 to 40. So we're going to increase on every multiple of 4. So starting in the chain where you slip stitch, we're going to pull our yarn through and single crochet 1. In the next chain for 2. Next is 3. And then in this chain we're going to increase for 4. Next is 5, 6, 7, and in the same stitch our increase for 8. Next is 9, 10, 11, and in the same stitch our increase for 12. 13, 14, 15, and in the same stitch our increase for 16. 17, 18, 19, and in the same stitch our increase for 20. 21, 22, 23, and in the same chain our increase for 24. 25, 26, 27, and in the same stitch our increase for 28. 29, 30, 31, and in the same stitch our increase for 32. 33, 34, 35, and in the same stitch our increase for 36. 37, 38. And this last chain might be a little difficult to get into. There we go. 39, and in the same chain, our increase for 40. So now we have just single crocheted 40. Okay. So now we're going to do another increase round, and we're going to increase from 40 to 60. So we're going to increase on every multiple of 3. So what we're going to do is right here, it's going to look like you have a stitch right here. That's actually your slip stitch. So start in this next stitch right here. Don't start in your slip stitch from before. And you'll kind of be able to see it because it kind of dips down a little. So in your first single crochet from your previous round, we go in and single crochet 1. In the next stitch is 2 and increase for 3. Next is 4, 5 and increase for 6. 7, oopsies, 8, and increase for 9. 10, 11, and increase for 12. 13, 14, and increase for 15. 16, 17, and increase for 18. 19, 20, and increase for 21. 22, 23, and increase for 24. 25, 26, and increase for 27. 28, 29, and increase for 30. So we're halfway there. And we've just been increasing on every multiple of 3. So now just continue repeating this pattern until you reach the end of your round, which is going to be 60 stitches. So you're halfway there. Do it just like we did, all the way up until you have 60 stitches. And I'll meet you back here when we're done. So now we have 60 stitches. So now we're just going to single crochet continuously around for 3 rounds. So what I like to do is take my little yarn tail and mark my starting place. And once I get back to here and 3 rounds up, we'll be done. So just single crochet 1 in every stitch for 3 rounds. Okay, so I'm almost to the end of my 3 rounds. And as you can see, I'm just slightly, maybe like 3 stitches away from the end. We're about to change to blue. So right now we need to start incorporating our blue yarn. So the way we're going to do that is we are going to take our blue yarn, and just like we did before, we're going to put it between our hook and our working yarn. And we're just going to keep crocheting until the end of our round and work this tail in between the stitches. All right, and in this next stitch, I'm going to change to blue. So I'm going to pull my gray yarn through, but then I'm going to yarn over with my blue yarn and pull my blue yarn through both loops, like that, and we've just changed to blue. Now, we're going to single crochet continuously around for another 2 rounds using our blue yarn. You can also work your gray yarn tail in just a little bit for a couple stitches before you cut it. That way it's nice and secure and it's not going to come out and unravel. So yeah, I think that's enough for the gray yarn. And I'm just going to cut it. And now you just single crochet continuously around for 2 rounds in blue. Okay, so I've just come to the end of my 2 rounds, and now we're done, so I'm going to slip stitch, oopsies, slip stitch to finish off. And I'm going to cut a bit of a, not a long tail or anything. For now, we can just leave these tails. When we go to sew everything together, we will sew this tail in and it won't be visible anymore. So you don't need to worry about these tails yet. But yes, this is the skirt, and you can just kind of mold it around so that it gets all ruffly. Yeah, and that's our skirt. Alright, so now we're going to make the bottom part of our shirt, and we're going to need to start with our light gray yarn. So make a slip knot by wrapping the yarn around your finger and pulling your tail up through the middle. And we're going to start by chaining 30. So we yarn over, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we've just chained 30. And now we are actually going to chain 1 more for 31, and that's going to count as the chain 1 for our next round. So now what we're going to do is in this next round, we're going to turn and come back through this other way. And what we're going to do is a little bit weird, and there's no multiples for increasing or anything. So I'm just going to have to tell you exactly what stitches we're doing as we're doing them. So first we are going to double crochet. So to double crochet, we yarn over, put your hook through this next chain from the hook. Oopsies. Pull your yarn back through so you have 3 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops on your hook. So now you have 2 remaining. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through the remaining 2. Now we're going to half double crochet. So to half double crochet, we yarn over and put your hook through the next chain, pull your yarn through, and this time we're going to yarn over and just pull through all 3 loops on our hook. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to increase on every multiple of 6, but this first double crochet and the half double crochet are counting as our first 2 stitches. So in the next stitch we're going to single crochet, and this is going to count as stitch number 3. Next is 4, 5, and in the same chain we increase for 6. Next is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and in the same stitch we increase for 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and in the same stitch we increase for 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and in the same chain we increase for 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and in the same stitch we increase for 30, 31, 32, 33. So normally we would wait and have number 36 be our increase, but because we have these last two chains, we actually need to half double crochet and double crochet in these last two chains. So this time, instead of increasing on our multiple of 6, we're just going to increase right now for 34. That way 35 and 36 can be free for our half double crochet and our double crochet. So now we're going to yarn over, and in the next chain, pull our yarn through and half double crochet, then yarn over again, and in the next chain, we double crochet. So pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then pull through the second 2 loops on our hook. There we go. Alrighty, so now we're going to do another round. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And once again, in this first stitch, we're going to yarn over our hook, put our hook through, and double crochet. So we pull through 2 stitches, yarn over, and pull through the other 2 stitches. Now we are going to half double crochet. So we yarn over, and then pull through 3 loops. Okay, so now that we've double crocheted and we half double crocheted, this time we're just going to single crochet 1 in the next 32 stitches. So if you're counting your half double crochet and your double crochet as stitch number 1 and stitch number 2, then you single crochet all the way up until you reach stitch 34, and then 35 and 36 will be something different. So just continue until you're at 34. So this next stitch would be 3, 4, and 34. Okay, so I've just single crocheted 34, and I'm at my last 2 stitches for this round. So in this next stitch number 35, we're going to yarn over and half double crochet 1. And in this last stitch, we're going to yarn over and double crochet 1. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And so now we're going to repeat this pattern for 2 more rounds. So essentially what you're doing is you're double crocheting 1, half double crocheting 1, single crocheting 32, then half double crocheting 1, double crocheting 1. So now we yarn over, and in this first stitch we double crochet 1. In the next stitch we half double crochet 1, and then in the next stitches we single crochet all the way up to 34, which would be a total of 32 stitches. So you can either count to 34 or count to 32, whichever you're more comfortable with. 3, 34. All right, so I'm up to 34, and in this next stitch I'm going to half double crochet 1, and then in the next stitch I'm going to double crochet 1. All right, and then chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to repeat this same pattern one more time. So we're going to yarn over, and in this first stitch, double crochet 1. Yarn over, and in the next stitch, half double crochet 1, and then single crochet for 32 stitches all the way up until you reach stitch number 34. 34. Okay, so I'm up to stitch number 34. Now in stitch number 35 we're going to half double crochet, and in stitch number 35 we're going to double crochet. Okay, so now we are going to chain 1 to finish off the light gray portion, and just cut your yarn and pull your yarn tail through. So now we're going to move on to our light blue portion, and this is working a little bit differently than how we have previously changed colors, just because of the nature of how the blue part is going to work. So if you lay out this flat, you'll notice that you have a curve on the outside that's larger than the curve on the inside, and then you have these two kind of thicker portions on the sides. What we're going to do is this place where we started right here is where I like to start, and I just stick, but first we're going to make a slip knot and stick our hook through. Now you take your blue portion, or your light gray portion, and I like to start right here where this tail is, but make sure that like you're going to be crocheting. So essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be crocheting along this outer kind of longer, fatter side, and this skinnier, or this more narrow curved side will be the part that actually wraps around the body. So what we're going to do is stick our hook through the bottom of this first double crochet. So a double crochet has like two kind of halves to it, and we're going to stick our hook through the first half of it. This isn't like normal, this isn't like a stitch that we're sticking it through. This is a little different. And then we pull our yarn through, which might be a little bit difficult to do. It's okay though, hold on. Okay, and then we yarn over and single crochet 1. Now in the top loop of your double crochet, we're going to single crochet for 2. Next, moving on into the side loop of your next double crochet for 3, into the top loop of your next double crochet for 4, and next is 5, And once you reach the corner, you may reach the corner in more or less stitches than I have, because we're not actually crocheting in stitches, we're crocheting into the side of the stitches. I have 5 here, but if you have like 6 or something to get to the corner, that's fine, as long as you get to the corner. Now once you're at this corner, I've single crocheted 5. And in this same stitch, I'm actually gonna go back in and do an increase, because that's gonna help me turn this corner. And so now I'm at the side that actually has real stitches in it. So now, in my first actual stitch, I'm going to single crochet 1. And then I'm just going to keep single crocheting 1 all the way across until I get to the 36th stitch. And then once we get there, I'll show you what to do next. So just single crochet 1 across for all 36 stitches. 36. Okay, so I've reached the end of my actual stitches. Now I'm going to do what I did last time, and I'm going to single crochet into the sides of these double crochets. So really the number of stitches that you come out with is not as important as making sure that it's symmetrical. So on this side, I single crocheted 5 and then increased 1, so that would be 6 total. So 5 single crochets with 1 increase, and just make sure that you do that same thing that you did. If you did more than 6 on the side, that's fine, but just make sure that this side has the same number. So in this first stitch, I'm going to single crochet 1, and then I'm also going to increase here for 2, because that's going to help me get the yarn to turn the corner. Okay? And now in the next one, I'm going to single crochet for 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now I have 6. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into the next available space, and chain 1. And then cut my yarn, and that's all. This is definitely not a beginner level thing. So if you're a beginner and you're doing this tutorial and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is so difficult, this is because this is definitely not a beginner level tutorial. So if you are a beginner and you make it all the way through this tutorial, then congratulations, because you are far more skilled as a beginner than I ever was. So this is what we have, and this is going to be the bottom part of her shirt. And so if we take our skirt and our shirt, eventually they'll kind of line up and overlap each other once we sew them onto the body. Okay, so now we're going to crochet the legs, and we need our blue yarn to start. So we're going to make a slip knot by wrapping the yarn around our finger to make a loop and pulling the tail through the loop. And now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to join the first chain and the last chain by slip stitching. And now we're going to single crochet 6 into the center of this loop we just made. So stick your hook through the center and single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to do an increase round, and we're going to increase from 6 to 12. So we're going to increase in every stitch. So in the first stitch, we single crochet 1, and in the same stitch, increase for 2. Next is 3, and in the same stitch, increase for 4. Next is 5, and in the same stitch, increase for 6. Next is 7, and in the same stitch, increase for 8. Next is 9, and in the same stitch, increase for 10. Next is 11, and in the same stitch, increase for 12. Next, we're going to do another increase round, and we're going to increase from 12 to 18. So we're going to increase on every multiple of 3. So we single crochet 1, 2, and in the same stitch, our increase for 3, 4, 5, and in the same stitch, increase for 6, 7, 8, and in the same stitch, increase for 9, 10, 11, and in the same stitch, increase for 12, 13, 14, and in the same stitch, increase for 15, 16, 17, and in the same stitch, increase for 18. So now we have 18. Now we're going to do another increase round, and we're going to increase from 18 to 24 stitches. So we're going to increase on every multiple of 4. 1, 2, 3, and increase for 4, 5, 6, 7, and in the same stitch, increase for 8, 9, 10, 11, and in the same stitch, increase for 12, 13, 14, 15, and in the same stitch, increase for 16, 17, 18, 19, and in the same stitch, increase for 20, 21, 22, 23, and in the same stitch, increase for 24. So now we have 24 stitches, and we're done increasing. All right, so now we're going to do something called back loop single crocheting. And let me zoom in. So our stitches have 2 loops. They have the front loop and the back loop. And when we back loop single crochet, we don't go through both loops like this. We go through the back loop only, or the loop that's facing the inside of our work. And we single crochet. So let me show you another. So that was 1. And now is 2. So as you can see, we only crocheted in the back loop. So we single crocheted 2, and we're going to single crochet in the back loop for the entire round. So that's 24 stitches. We've just done 2, so this next one is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so now I actually have 21 stitches, and I'm going to start incorporating my dark gray yarn. So what we need to do that is take our dark gray yarn and place it between our working yarn and our hook like this. And now when we crochet, we stick our hook through, and don't forget to stick your hook through the back loop only, like this. And we crochet as normally, but now we're crocheting this extra yarn in between our stitches. So that was 22, here's 23, and for 24, we're gonna pull our blue yarn through like we normally would, except we're gonna yarn over and pull through both loops with our gray yarn. And we've just changed colors. So now we're going to do a decrease round. And unlike my normal decrease rounds where we decrease on multiples, this one is not quite so easy. So we're gonna think of it in a different way. So right now we have 24 stitches and we're gonna decrease down to 22 stitches. But what we want to do is make sure that we're decreasing in the right places to get this foot shape. So we're gonna decrease in kind of a special way. But one thing I want to show you before we decrease is that your back loop single crochets, you need to make sure that your front loops are facing to the outside because that's what's causing this direction to change. So if you have your work turned inside out like this, and your back loop and your like line from the front loops is inside, turn it out so that you're going the other way, or else you're not gonna get this change in direction that we have. So just make sure that you're doing it that way. So now this next round, what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 10, decrease 2, and single crochet 10. So instead of counting all the way up to 24, I'm gonna count to 10, decrease 2, and then count to 10 again. So, and this time we can do our regular single crochets. We don't have to single crochet in the back loop only, just do regular single crochets. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we single crocheted 10 and we're going to decrease 2 times. So we're going to decrease the next 4 stitches. So in this first stitch and second stitch, we decrease. And then in this third stitch and in this fourth stitch, we decrease. So we just did 2 decreases. Now we're going to single crochet another 10. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we've just gone from 24 stitches down to 22 stitches. And the way these next couple of rows are going to work is this time we single crochet 10, decrease 2, single crochet 10. Then we're gonna single crochet 9, decrease 2, single crochet 9. Then we're going to single crochet 8, decrease 2, single crochet 8. So it's 10, 9, 8, 7, like that. So this next round, we are going to single crochet 9, decrease 2, single crochet 9, and we're going to go from 22 stitches down to 20 stitches. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, And now we're going to do 2 decreases, which means we're going to decrease in the next 4 stitches. So we decrease 1 and 2, and then decrease 3 and 4. So 2 decreases. And now we single crochet another 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we're going to do a similar thing again, but this time we're going to single crochet 8, decrease 2, single crochet 8. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we decrease 2, so we're going to decrease in the next 4 stitches. So we decrease stitch 1 and stitch 2, decrease stitch 3 and stitch 4. And now we single crochet 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we're going to do one more round like this, and this time we're going to single crochet 7, decrease 2, single crochet 7. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we decrease 2, so we're decreasing in the next 4 stitches. So we decrease in stitch 1 and stitch 2, and then stitch 3 and stitch 4 are decreased together. And now we single crochet 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we should have 16 stitches, but let's count just to make sure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 stitches. So now we're going to single crochet 1 in each stitch for 2 rounds. So we're going to do 16 stitches for 2 rounds. That's 32 stitches. So just single crochet continuously around for 32 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 32. So we've just done our 2 rounds of 16 stitches for 32 stitches. Now we're going to do another decrease round, and we're going to do a couple more decrease rounds, but what you're going to notice is that as you're decreasing, before when we were decreasing, it was always kind of in the front that we were decreasing. This time, as we're decreasing, you're going to notice that the spot that you're decreasing starts to kind of travel around. That's perfectly fine, don't worry about that. So if you notice that your decreases start to travel around, that's not a problem. So in this next round, we're going to single crochet 7, decrease 1, single crochet 7. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And just to clarify, when we say decrease one decrease is when you crochet 2 stitches together. So 1 decrease takes up 2 stitches, in case any of you were confused. So we're going to do 1 decrease, which means we're going to decrease in this first stitch and this second stitch and decrease. And now we're going to single crochet another 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we're going to do another 2 rounds just continuously crocheting around, and now we have 15 stitches. We went from 16 stitches to 15 stitches. So we're going to single crochet continuously around for 30 stitches. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we just did 2 rounds continuously. Now we're going to do another decrease round. And this time the pattern is single crochet 7, decrease, single crochet 6. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we decrease 1. So 1, and now we single crochet 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we've gone from having 15 stitches to having 14 stitches. And now we're going to do just like we did before, and we're going to single crochet 2 rounds continuously. So it would be 2 rounds of 14 stitches for a total of 28 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 28. Okay, so next what we're going to do is single crochet 6, decrease, single crochet 6. So we're going to go from having 14 stitches to having 13 stitches. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we decrease 1. And now we single crochet another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a moment, just take a break from what I'm doing right now, and stuff this bottom part of the leg, because if we wait too long to stuff it, it's going to be really difficult to do that. So you can take your toy stuffing or your yarn scraps and stuff the bottom part of the leg. And you don't have to stuff it completely. The part that I'm most concerned about is the foot, making sure that that's nice and full. Okay, so I just stuffed the bottom part, and really all I did was I stuffed the foot, because that's the part that if you don't stuff it early on enough, then it becomes really difficult to stuff it later. So, all right, so we just finished our decrease round, and we decreased from 14 stitches down to 13 stitches. Now we're gonna do what we did before and single crochet continuously for 2 rounds. So 13 stitches for 2 rounds is 26 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've just decreased from 14 stitches, or sorry, we've just single crocheted 13 stitches for 2 rounds. Now we're going to do one last decrease round, and we're going to single crochet 6, decrease, single crochet 5, so we end up with 12 stitches. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we decrease. And before we move on, I'm going to start incorporating my blue yarn because in the next round we're going to change colors. So just like we did before, we are going to take our blue yarn and place it between our working yarn and our hook. And just start to single crochet that tail in. So now we're going to single crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and for 5, pull through with your blue or with your gray yarn, and then yarn over with your blue yarn and pull through both loops. And we've just changed to blue. So now we are going to single crochet for 2 rounds continuously. So we have 12 stitches right now, so 2 rounds would be 24 stitches. But at the end of our 2 rounds, we're actually going to change colors again. So I'm going to crochet up to 20 stitches and then we'll change yarn colors together. So single crochet continuously for 20 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 20. Okay, so I've just crocheted continuously around for 20 stitches. Now I'm going to bring in my cream colored yarn and I'm going to start to incorporate that so that we can prepare to change colors. So just put your yarn in between your hook and your working yarn. And now we're going to single crochet another 4 stitches so that we have 24. So this would be 21, 22, 23, and 24. Pull through with your blue yarn and yarn over with your cream colored yarn. There we go. We've just changed to cream. So now we're going to single crochet another 12, just no increases or decreases, just single crochet 12. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a little bit of a loop so that I can work. All right, so now I'm going to break off this blue yarn. I crocheted it into this row that we last did. I'm going to pull up kind of a long tail of the blue yarn because I'm going to use it to stuff the rest of the leg. Okay, so now that I've stuffed the leg, now I'm going to keep going with my cream colored yarn. Okay, so next we are going to do another decrease round, and this time we're going to single crochet 5, decrease, single crochet 5, so that we go from having 12 stitches to 11 stitches. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we decrease and single crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we should have 11 stitches. And now we're going to do just like we did before, and we're going to single crochet continuously around for 2 rounds, which would be 22 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 21, and 22. Okay, so now we just did 2 rounds of 11 stitches. Now we're going to do our last decrease round, and we're going to decrease from 11 down to 10. So we're going to single crochet 5, decrease, single crochet 4. So we single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we decrease. And now we single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to do just like we did before, and we're going to single crochet continuously around for 2 rounds, which will be 20 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we are done with the legs, so we're going to slip stitch. And then I'm going to cut kind of a long tail so that I can use the rest of this yarn to stuff the leg. Okay, so now I have my leg. I already did the other leg in this little... So I have both legs now, and as you can see, the bottom of this leg looks a little different than this leg. After I made this leg, I changed my mind about how I wanted to do the legs, so that's why my legs look different. Your legs should look the same though. So if this is your first leg, rewind to the beginning of this video and do your second leg. If you have done your second leg, then we can move on.